Good morning to you, and thank you for watching Eye on New Mexico. We're starting off the month of May on a positive note. Joining me this morning, Denise Gonzalez, the coordinator for the upcoming Give Grande New Mexico Day, a big day of giving for our state, and Andy Williams from the Albuquerque Community Foundation. Thank you both so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
And we just came off of April with a series of shows focused on child abuse prevention for Child Abuse Prevention Month. And what I learned over that month is that there are a lot of people doing really great things in this community to help children, to help adults, to help all the people in their communities throughout New Mexico. And that's sort of a great segue into Give Grande New Mexico, a bit of what that day is all about. It's this Tuesday, May 6th. More than 300 nonprofits in this state, which is incredible, are joining nonprofits and community foundations across the nation for a national day of giving. But Denise, this is the first day of giving for us here in New Mexico. Right. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Tell us a little bit about how this started.
So other states have been doing this about 5 years. I always give the example of Colorado, our neighbor. They've done it for 3 years. The first year that they did it, they raised $5 million.
Wow.
The second, $10 million. And then the last year they did $15.4 million.
That's incredible.
Right. So this is the first time that New Mexico is going to do it, and it's a nationwide campaign called Give Local America. And this all came about because community foundations are celebrating their 100th anniversary from being created. And so New Mexico, all the community foundations in New Mexico started a coalition, and they decided that this would be a great way to kick off a new state day here in New Mexico. So.
Well, we're going to talk about how they're raising all that money, how you can get involved, and about those nonprofits in a second. But you mentioned community foundations,
right.
And Andy with the Albuquerque Community Foundation. For people who don't know, what exactly is a community foundation?
So a community foundation, what we really focus on is endowment. So for endowment, people don't know a lot about it. I never did until I really started with the foundation. But so we get a lot of gifts. We pool these gifts and we invest them. And on the investments, on the earnings on those, people are allowed to grant that out to the community, to other organizations. So what we really do is on the financial side, we really help out organizations operationally and when they work on programs as well.
So you have a lot of ongoing contact with the local nonprofits, it sounds like.
We do, and our program director, Nancy Johnson's been with the foundation for 30 years, and she knows every single nonprofit in the Albuquerque area and in the state pretty much, so she does a really good job. And
in Give Grande Day on May 6th, of course, as we mentioned, you're bringing together all the community foundations throughout Albuquerque, so these are in pockets, southern New Mexico, eastern, all over the state, is that right?
Exactly, yeah. So the 5 community foundations throughout the state, we're all coming together to work on this one great cause for the state, and we're really trying to just open people's eyes to the wonderful nonprofits in the state, what they do, how they make just our lives so much better in the state.
Yeah, you know, on the news a lot, we try at least to promote and show off some of the great things that people are doing to give back in this community and some of the great nonprofits. But 300 that we mentioned are getting involved in Give Grande New Mexico. I would have had no idea. Go ahead.
It's actually 400.
400. Okay,
Over
so
400.
Yeah, there you go. So I would have had no idea there were even that many in the state, nonprofits, and that many people doing such good works. And tell us about the nonprofits' role in this Give Grande Day.
So nonprofits, just what we did is we opened up a registration period since November, and we asked nonprofits to register. They give us a little blurb about what they're doing and where they work, and we compile this into one database, and then people on the day can select the nonprofits. They can look by their community, they can look city, they can look interests, like if they had an interest in animal or human services. So they'll be able to select a nonprofit based on all that criteria.
And what you're really trying to do is get people to donate to their favorite nonprofit on this day of giving. On May 6th, you can make a donation. You're suggesting $10 or more to your favorite nonprofit, and that's how you've made it easy. Just on your website, they can find those. Is that right?
That's correct. And you know, I always tell people when you hear the word nonprofit, you know, or charity, people think right away they go to, you know, oh, homelessness or food banks. But you know, the reality is that nonprofits touch all of our lives every day. I mean, if you go to a museum, chances are it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
If you go to the zoo, it's a nonprofit. If you like to listen to, you know, the symphony or chamber music, those are all nonprofits. And, you know, nonprofits have a lot of, there's a lot of nonprofits that do a lot of conservation work here in New Mexico and protect our streams and our waterways, and so nonprofits really, they touch all of our lives.
That is an absolutely great point. You know, as you're thinking about giving money, go to their website, givegrandenm.org, and we'll have that posted and linked to on our website as well. But you can really go and see just how many nonprofits there are, and how, you know, I'm sure as Denise mentioned, how one of them probably touches something that's really important to you. Denise, we were talking a little bit about how nonprofits are starting to get their names out there in this day and age, and social media has been a big part of that.
Right. Well, we started going into this project last year. We started looking like what really makes a great campaign, a state campaign, and I started looking at what are sort of the issues or what are things that New Mexico could do better. And one of the big things that New Mexico sort of needed to catch up on is social media and really having a presence online. And so we did things like we had social media boot camps for nonprofits, just to sort of walk them through having a presence and using social media for advocacy. And one of the things that's interesting is that as the baby boomers are sort of retiring and moving, you know, and sort of being settled, in order to reach the next generation of donor, you really have to have a presence online and on social media, because Generation X, the millenniums, that's what they're looking at all the time, and that's what catches their eye.
You're absolutely right, and I mean, Andy, I'm sure you've seen that happen through your work with the Community Foundation. Absolutely.
Social media, it's huge to get. It's free. You know, it's so easy to use, and we already have, I think it's 1,300 likes on Give Grande, and it's really blown up the past couple weeks, especially through our kind of social media competitions we've done. We actually have them going on right now, which we're actually giving away an iPad mini. So, and it's open for anybody. Anybody puts a post out there and just tags with the hashtag GiveGrandeNM. They're all qualified to win the iPad mini. So we're really trying to push it that way.
Yeah, well, and that's great. You know, I mean, obviously being in the media, but also being of a certain age, I was actually a little bit of a late adopter of Twitter. Facebook I've been on for a while, but you're absolutely right. You know, now I'm addicted to Twitter and constantly seeing the updates. I follow Roadrunner Food Bank, for example, the zoo, as you mentioned, the biopark, and things that I might not know about if they're having an event this weekend. I'm seeing it on Twitter now. The Run for the Zoo, for example, these types of events that they do to raise money, that is the way that this generation is finding out about them.
Right, and it's a great tool for advocacy. One of the things that I just was remarking to people when we were going through the social media boot camps is that, you know, when you start seeing, you know, just issues you know, like the, you know, gay and lesbian, you know, issues or Proposition 8, they took to social media, got the word out there, marriage equality. That was one of the campaigns in the state. I mean, there was not 1 hour that I was looking at social media where I didn't see something about, you know, marriage equality. So it's a great tool for advocacy too. And so these state days are really great because it just really brings a lot of attention to nonprofits and the work they're doing.
And I think it points out that even though some in the older generation may think social media is sort of letting us all be more into ourselves and just check in on our devices, but this is really a way to bring people together through this. And people do like to kind of get on and join a group or be part of this event or this conversation.
Right, right. We did some statistics that were interesting. 35% of New Mexicans are on Facebook.
Wow.
I'm not sure how they figured that out, but and the fastest growing demographic in Twitter is actually 55 to 65 years old.
Really?
So
exactly. So we shouldn't be leaving out any one generation here either. Absolutely, that's for everyone.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to talk more with you guys in just a moment. I wanted to bring you a couple of stories we've done recently about local people doing good things, giving back to the community, which is what Give Grande New Mexico is all about. Recently, this past week, we spoke to a woman who calls herself an extreme couponer, but she says she already has everything she needs, so she decided to do something else with all the coupons she's collected. Nikki Ibarra has her story.
saving money one coupon at a time.
Laura here has a great deal to tell you about at CVS.
Something moms across the country rave about.
Extreme couponer, I guess is the term.
That's what Albuquerque mom Felicity Horowitz calls herself, and she's proud of it. For months now, she's been clipping and using coupons, saving her family hundreds of dollars.
Pantry, frozen, breakfast.
Now, Felicity will admit once she went a bit overboard with the coupons.
And I'm looking in my garage, like I have like 4 years worth of laundry detergent and probably should do something about it.
So she started couponing for a cause, a local group that, you guessed it, clips coupons, shops, and donates it all to charities. This month, they donated boxes filled with canned foods, cereals, blankets, you name it. Without coupons, all of this would have cost around $856.
And you put a happy face there.
Yes.
Because that's not what you paid.
Yeah, that is definitely not what I paid.
With coupons, it came out to about $85. These donations will feed about 5 families at the Albuquerque Rescue Mission. A hobby turned into a way to help out those in need.
It took me hours to come down from my excitement. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so fun, this is so awesome. You know, just being able to do it for a good cause.
In Albuquerque, Nikki Ibarra, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
Yeah, a great example of someone who just gets a high out of helping people. And she mentioned, of course, the Rescue Mission, another great nonprofit group that could always use some help. And another way to help that we've been talking about Give Grande New Mexico. You could choose that group to give to if you wanted to on Tuesday.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, another story we featured recently, it's a way to stay active and fit at Sierra Vista Elementary School in Northwest Albuquerque. A PE teacher started a running club to encourage students to run during recess and track their miles. Kim Tobin reports.
On your mark, get set, go!
Just felt like happy.
For many of these students at Sierra Vista Elementary, that's how they feel when they're running, happy.
And the parents really understood how vital activity is to a child and their brain development and their body development. They'd be out there every day working with their kids.
That's why PE teacher Darlene Argano put together this running club. With obesity rates skyrocketing in the U.S., she saw many students missing out on daily activity and exercise. So every day during their 30-minute recess, kids run and log their time in miles. And when they reach a big milestone like 75 or 100 miles,
Way to go, Spirit! Good job, young man!
they get prizes like gift certificates and healthy snacks.
I feel excited and proud of myself for working so hard.
And for some, it's making a difference at home for the entire family.
The parents are like, wow, my kid wants to go out and run all the time. He wants to get me to go out and run.
If some of their friends were falling behind, the children are quick to keep each other motivated.
Just keep on trying, just like I'll run with you. I would say to follow your heart and never give up.
So many people helping out their fellow New Mexicans, and we are talking about that this morning. May 6th, Tuesday, Give Grande New Mexico, our first state day of giving. Stay with us. We're going to have more ways on how you can get involved and more ways that New Mexicans are giving big coming up after this break. Thanks for staying with us this morning. We've been talking about the state's first ever Day of Giving happening Tuesday, May 6th. It's called Give Grande New Mexico. And I've been talking to Denise Gonzalez, the coordinator for that, and Andy Williams with the Albuquerque Community Foundation. Thanks again, guys, for being here with us. Well, we were talking in the first half about all the different community foundations that are a part of this Day of Giving. And those foundations have really done a great job, Denise, you were telling me, bringing together the nonprofits in the rural parts of the state who in some cases didn't even necessarily know about each other,
Right.
didn't know that they could kind of pool their resources and come together to make a bigger impact.
Right. I think that's been one of the most inspiring things for me working on this project is being able to go into rural New Mexico, and I was really touched by a group here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. A lot of these nonprofits were working in silos, didn't know exactly what each other was doing in the city, and we had coffee one morning just to talk about the campaign and how they can work together. And it was really inspiring to just see everybody sitting across the table from each other and talking about, oh, you know, well, I have this, you know, this staff member who can do this, and how they could join together and how they could really do a campaign. And I'm just seeing that all over the state. Silver City has been amazing. I mean, they're having a huge block party on that day and closing down sort of the main street. And
Nice.
they're going to have different booths where people can go and learn about the different nonprofits. And we're seeing that all over New Mexico, all these communities working together.
Well, and I think you bring up a great point that some of these smaller communities and smaller nonprofits, they're full of people with a ton of heart that really just do what they do because they want to help people, but they don't necessarily know how to promote it, and you kind of have to get fundraising, to get people involved. So that's great to hear about this community event where they're going to be telling people about all the good work they're doing.
Right, that's exactly right. And you know, what I see in a lot of these smaller towns, you know, they don't have the economic benefits of being in a bigger city, and they're sort of, you know, kind of left sort of alone, and it can be a little bit disheartening, I think, for them. You know, they think, oh, how are we going to be able to, you know, compete against a big nonprofit?
Yeah.
And what I've told them is, you know, people really want to give where they live. I think that people are inspired to help their neighbors and help their community, and so it's not really about competing against other big organizations in other parts of the state. It's really about inspiring communities to give back to you know, their own neighbors.
That's a great point, and we've been reminding people that on May 6th, the push is that to tell you as an individual out there to go to the website, givegrandenm.org, and choose one of the hundreds, more than 400 nonprofits in the state to donate to. You'll find one on there definitely that is something that you're passionate about, no doubt, something in your own local community. We have no doubt that there's something out there for everyone. So yeah, we'll have that information posted on our website as well. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned the Silver City event. There are actually a lot of parties happening on this day.
Yeah, so there's been a handful of nonprofits here in Albuquerque who are hosting events, and actually Albuquerque Community Foundation, we're actually going to be the official headquarters in Albuquerque. So if anybody wants to come celebrate with us, we're going to have free food and drinks all day, opening at 7, closing at 7 p.m. So we'll be open pretty much all day. We'll be there celebrating. We'll have the leaderboard posted live, so we'll be able to see the totals add up. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. I was going to mention that too, that we're going to see the dollars raised by this event for local nonprofits. Any goal right now that you guys are setting for this very first one?
I think we have some internal goals, but we've been told, don't say them out loud.
Sure.
It's going to be a success no matter what it is. I mean, this is the first time 400 organizations are getting together to work on one campaign. So, and you know, traditionally what you're seeing in other states is the first year is sort of like trying to, you know, get people to understand this is what Community State Day, you know, is Giving Day is. And so I think I'll be happy to see whatever comes in. But
and you point out that this is, the intention is that this will become an annual event.
We're hoping it does, yes.
So hopefully those numbers will be pretty high. And tell us where the foundation location is, Andy, if people here in Albuquerque, our biggest market here, if they're interested in coming to that party.
So we're right on T. Harris and 7th Street, right downtown, you know, just right there. So we'll have big balloons up, we'll have signs. If you go down to Harris, you'll find us.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big party, as you mentioned, 7 to 7 pretty much. The Taos Community Foundation is hosting their party there as well, and Santa Fe's Community Foundation, along with the New Mexico Community Foundation, hosting a party from 3 to 6 at San Isidro Plaza on the patios of the Plaza Cafe and the Santa Fe Capitol Grill and the Plaza Centro. So lots of opportunities to get involved in these smaller communities as well. And we also want to mention that you guys are continuing to push this contest through the social media contest. There are prizes people can win by getting involved in this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we did the first social media contest we did was to see it was an organization, and the organization could win a free pizza party for their staff. And so we had a really inspiring story that was told by Crossroads of New Mexico, which helps and transitions women coming out of incarceration and other life crises. And they did an excellent job, and so they won a free pizza party for their office. And then the other campaign we have going now.
Yeah, so we actually received a free iPad mini because we were one of the first communities to sign up for Give Local America, which is a national day. So we actually decided the best way to use that was to give it to somebody else who is going to be helping us promote the day. So it's out there, open for everybody. If you use the hashtag Give Grande NM in your post and it has the most likes and comments on it, you'll win a free iPad mini. So, you know, we're really just trying to get people to really promote this thing themselves and really push Give Grande New Mexico.
Excellent. Well, for the moment here, we want to feature a couple more stories of how people here in New Mexico have been helping their communities. Just this past week, our crew was there as more than 100 prom dresses were dropped off at the APS Clothing Bank for high school girls so that no girl has to miss their prom. The dresses were donated at last weekend's Pinups and Prom Dresses event in Albuquerque. Nikki Ibarra has the story.
This was far more than Sarah Flores expected.
Some ladies they went and bought new dresses, so some of them do have the tags on them still.
More than 100 prom dresses donated by you, our viewers.
So as mothers, we just want to band together. And
last week, we introduced you to Sarah Flores and her friend Francesca Hone, two Albuquerque parents who didn't want girls to miss out on prom because of the price of a dress. So this past Saturday, they hosted a dress event called Pinups and Prom Dresses. And the response, Sarah says, was amazing.
And it was just really nice to hear all their just touching little stories and why that they came out. And so it was nice that every time they handed me a dress, I got a story.
Like one teenager who already went to prom donated her dress so another girl could go. Or a mom who donated a dress that was once donated to her daughter. Her way of paying it forward.
Just a lot of mothers wanting to give back, trying to find a way to give back, and they wish that this could have happened to them or when their daughter needed it.
And the donations didn't stop at dresses.
And I also have shoes.
Shoes, shawls, purses, helping. That's what Sarah says it's all about.
It's a good size. That's like almost a whole rack.
In Albuquerque, Nikki Ibarra, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
Yeah, all those dresses donated to the APS Clothing Bank, which accepts other types of clothes all year long as well, so you can always donate to them. And just another example of people just sort of coming up with their own ideas for how to give back. And it's amazing. I mean, we don't see a lack of generosity here in the state.
No, New Mexico, there are some statistics that say that New Mexico is one of the most generous states based on our population. So, and I think just it's sort of ingrained sort of in the Hispanic and Native American cultures here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, I'm sure, Andy, in your experience with the Community Foundation, you find a lot of people do want to give something, and you guys kind of help people find ways that they can give, maybe that they haven't thought of.
Yeah, you know, so for this day, even if you don't have, you know, $10 to give, do something good for somebody. You know, it's really trying to push a day of just give big, you know, give Grande New Mexico and do something good.
Absolutely. One last story here we featured recently, our Nikki Ibarra keeping on top of all the good works people are doing. It was last summer when an Albuquerque eye doctor visited a city in Peru to help hundreds of kids with vision problems, but he wasn't able to get all of the kids who needed his help. So next month he'll be going back to finish business, and a lot of people here are helping him. Nikki Ibarra has that story.
It's an image that Dr. Todd Goldblum remembers vividly. Hundreds of moms, dads, and kids filling a Peruvian hospital, waiting to see him.
We saw far more children than we could possibly do surgery on.
Last summer, Goldblum flew to Peru with a nonprofit called Vision Health International. He and the team were there to help those kids. Many had crossed eyes or eyes that drifted outward, and he did it for nothing.
Straightening out the child's eyes with surgery does allow them to see better and to have depth perception. And also a lot of these children were being teased at school for having their eyes being so far out of alignment.
Dr. Goldblum says for an entire week that hospital was packed, and unfortunately not everyone could be helped.
And I told the parents, well, I'd like to come back, and I like to be true to my word.
So this June, he's going back and bringing reinforcements.
Half of the personnel going are from Albuquerque.
Goldblum says you can call his mission a higher calling.
In my Jewish tradition, we have what is called Tikkun Olam, which in Hebrew means to heal the world. These children would not get any type of treatment unless we went.
In Albuquerque, Nikki Ibarra, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
Just another great way that someone is giving back to their community. He even talked about having a higher calling to do that, and how he got a bunch of people from Albuquerque to join him in his mission. So that's what Give Grande is really all about. You take a seed and inspire a larger number of people to give, get this movement really growing, and help our nonprofits here.
Absolutely. It's all about just giving and helping each other. One of my favorite quotes is, you know, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. And I think, I know with my daughter, I'm trying to raise her in that way because it's important.
Beautiful quote, beautiful way to end the show. So give what you can, help someone. Everyone has that ability. And thank you both, Denise Gonzalez and Andy Williams, for joining us. GiveGrandeNM.org this Tuesday, May 6th. Thanks for joining us for Eye on New Mexico. We'll see you back here next week.